Hey, what's up, everybody? Talking about Larry Brown getting the SMU job, or it is reported that Larry Brown is going to have the SMU job. His 13th head coaching stint. That's incredible. The guy is 71 years old, and he's still coaching. Now, he did resign from the Charlotte Bobcats, nonetheless, at 9-19 in 2010. So we don't know what Larry Brown we're going to be getting, because we also know this was the same guy that coached the Knicks squad to a record of 23-59. They were in last place in the East that season. On the other hand, in every single stint Larry Brown has had, when he's had an opportunity to coach a second year, his team has never been under 500. And that includes the Bobcats, who made the franchise's first ever playoff appearance under the direction of Larry Brown, and of course with the Clippers when they were 41-41 in Larry Brown's second year. Now, obviously, you got Tom Jankovich, who's going to be the coach in waiting, and then you have a guy in Jarrett Howard from Illinois who they're bringing over, who is a very solid and tactful recruiter. And then you have Rod Strickland, who I think is going to be a great assistant coach, a great hire, because this guy, Rod Strickland, was very much behind Marcus Teague. He was very much behind Brandon Knight. And I even felt like he had a role in John Wall, too. He's a wonderful coach, specifically at being able to adapt to point guards and building that bridge from allowing these guys to shine in college to ultimately being stars in the NBA. That's what Rod Strickland is going to do for you. The fact that Larry Brown is going to enter the Big East. The guy loves basketball. I think this is a great move all around. Like I said in the beginning, you don't know what Larry Brown you're going to get, but you do know you were getting an incredibly passionate, very knowledgeable, very experienced Larry Brown at 71 years old. There's no telling how far he can take this team. Now, the fact that you do have Jankovic, who is a coach in waiting, doesn't exactly signal the fact that this is going to be a long-term, permanent thing. It's going to be more like an abeyance. But having said that, Larry Brown has improved his squad every single team he has been on in that second year. The fact that this guy travels to every single basketball camp, every single clinic, every single Final Four coaches meeting, this guy loves the game. Can't stay away. Can't stay away. And he overachieved with the Detroit Pistons, in my opinion. One of the greatest upsets in the history of NBA basketball, when they should have swept the Lakers, to be honest, in 2004. And then the next year to get that team to Game 7 of the NBA Finals with all the turmoil and all the controversy surrounding where Larry Brown was going. People thought he was going to coach in Cleveland. There was disharmony in the locker room, and he was able to keep it together. We know how the Pistons did the next year, and the next year, and the next year. They haven't been back to the finals since, guys. So Larry Brown is a heck of a coach. The fact that he got to the 2001 NBA Finals with Tyronn Hill and Dikembe Mutombo and Eric Snow and Aaron McKee, I don't mean any disrespect to these players, but I'm not going home and playing NBA 2K Jam and saying, listen, I got to go home and I got to be Eric Snow. And I know he's a wonderful TV analyst for NBA basketball, but he's not a guy who you label as being an NBA star. And the fact that Larry Brown was able to get to an NBA Finals and win a game nonetheless against what many people believe is one of the greatest teams in the past 25 years in those 2001 Lakers. They lost one game all season. One game they were defeated in the playoffs all season. And that was to, of course, the 76ers. 76ers beat them at Staples Center. So Larry Brown can flat out coach. He loves the game. Good for him for getting back into it. I think he's going to do wonders in the Big East. He spends 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes even sometimes on the basic fundamental pick and roll. So his knowledge is going to supersede maybe the slowness of the age and the relatability he has with players. But I tell you what, I remember watching, quite frankly, I remember seeing Allen Iverson just burst into tears when he described the relationship he has with Larry Brown. That's all you need to know about what this man is and who he is off the court as well. Because I think they're going to get a coach that is a very young 71-year-old and a coach that has something to prove. Was fired from the Detroit Pistons. He said it himself. Was fired from the Knicks, I thought prematurely. I thought, yeah, despite the fact that he was 23-59, you got to give this guy a second year. He's great at that second year. The first year is about people really adapting to his tactician-like style. And then he was, of course, I don't know if he was forced out, but he certainly resigned. There was certainly some turmoil between him and the front office in Charlotte when they were 9-19 after making the playoffs the previous season, and he resigned. Which is why I think ultimately, when you look at the trend and the pattern of Larry Brown coming back, and you look at the fact that Phil Jackson was swept, I think we might be hearing from Phil Jackson pretty soon. But for right now, this is Larry Brown's night. And congratulations, Mr. Brown. We all know what Brown can do for SMU. So congratulations to the SMU program. You got a Hall of Fame coach. You got a coach that knows how to take a team, truly assess where they're at, and then able to teach like very few we've ever seen in the history of this game. And that's exactly what Larry Brown is going to do. Folks, I appreciate you listening to Sports with Shep. This is podcast number 13. Tune in next time as I'm going to break down the Lakers-Spurs game and what we are going to take away from that ultimately heading into the Western Conference playoffs. I appreciate you listening, appreciate your insight, appreciate your time. Everybody have a great day. Thank you very much.